For the OGs, yo, we to the top.
Not just any OG, brother.
To the top. That's how it
any
starts,
OG,
baby.
son.
But you never know,
Who
this second season is going a lot better for us. We got a lot of different type of guests versus just having your local rappers, same rappers.
You taking shots already?
Nah, I'm not taking shots, but
Oh,
I'm
wow.
saying like we started off like first season straight rappers.
Yo,
and
word.
Chris. Well, Chris is not a rapper, but
And then we just now we
Oh,
switched
yeah,
it
he-
up, son. Now
that
we
was-
just stepped it up. Not even like we didn't even go get a regular cop or anything like, or like the guy downstairs. Like, yo, my man, come here talking to the mic. Like we went and got the one. Been all over the news. Been all over the paper.
radio
been all over
stations,
TV.
podcasts,
Been all
everywhere.
over radios. Been
He's
all over the
a-
U.S. yet?
May Comeback Jack too up.
Hey,
Comeback Jack
hey.
went up too.
Comeback
stocks
Jack,
went up.
Comeback Jack nearly got him.
So we gotta put facts out. I had the number 5 rated show in 2013 on Combat Jack. I
That-
beat LL Cool J, KRS-One, Rick Ross, all of them.
You
My,
hear
my
that?
show was crazy.
Well, can
So-
you introduce yourself for those that don't know? Actually they do know because they clicked the fucking link in the bio. I'm tired of introducing people when it's like they obviously know.
It's clearly
they
you know.
clicked it and was like, yo, we know who's on it. But for those that didn't hear who it was,
Yeah. Hey, listeners, I'm Corey Pegues, a.k.a. Boo Life. We're going to talk about that later. I'm here with my brother from my other mother, Sean Dew. He's smooth in the book. I know y'all know about that book called Once a Cop, The Street, The Law, Two Worlds, One Man. We here to just tell this story. These brothers right here. Thanks for having me, y'all.
No problem.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
thank you for coming up, as a matter of fact. I don't know how we skipped a level. I feel like I'm somebody now. Because, yo, let me tell you, I haven't read your book. I'll be honest. But only because it was such short notice as to you coming on
He's
the
lying.
show.
I've been telling him 6 months ago.
You told me 6 months ago. This is how Jonathan introduces people.
Yeah, I can show
Jonathan
you when I order the book.
Jonathan said, yo, we're going to have Corey on the show. And I said, oh, he said Corey Guns. Like, yo, I went and was like, yo, man, you can't just tell somebody Corey. And I'm like, yo. And then, like, after a while, yo, you saw in the chat room, right? He said, yo, Corey's coming Monday. And I said, who the fuck is Corey? And then he says your name. And I'm like, oh, okay.
We can
Then
we can make Corey happen too. We got the same entertainment attorney.
Yeah, there you go. See, we could get all the Corys up in here.
He represents me. He represents Tara. He represents Corey, Peter. What's the other baby mama name? Amina.
Oh yeah,
Butterfly.
What's and the Puerto Rican? He represents a lot of people. His name. Shout out to my man Ed Woods. Ed Woods, entertainment lawyer extraordinaire. Yeah, that's my man.
Yo, I'm happy to have you here because after watching so many like mini clips and documentaries on you, yo, you have an interesting life. Like I just don't get it. I don't. It don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense, but it's interesting to watch. How does it flow? Like, how can you break it down for people? You in the streets.
like he's trying to talk about like because your life is like movie shit.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like,
So
you was just,
it's like cinematic. It's like somebody wrote this movie. Somebody wrote his life.
Mm-hmm.
Like some editor wrote his life. It doesn't make sense. That's what he
all.
means. It's like somebody wrote your life, but he actually lived it.
yeah.
So you live through it instead of like somebody like movies. You know, they write everybody's lives. They put a gangster images, but these niggas didn't do
fake
it.
ass Denzel movies that always have
Oh,
like,
yeah, the
Denzel always breaks out, and you know he was like, oh, of course he was gonna turn out to be a cop. Like, but it's like, yo,
Like
this
you
shit
knew, like
really
this,
happened.
like Scorsese wrote his life. Like, yo, we're gonna make him a cop at the end of the movie. The fuck y'all niggas up.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh shit, this really
It's like, oh
happened.
shit, this really happened. But the thing is, it's deeper than that. It's like the mystique of like the '80s, the mystique about like you hear the rappers, the Supreme Team. It sounds like like fictional, but it really went down.
I should have
It's
bought.
like-
I should have bought Bimmy up in here.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Oh shit! They should would have got.
Oh, you
Our
know
stocks
about that.
definitely
You know
would have
about
went
that.
up.
Well, that's not a problem. We get that. That's easy work. He only a text away.
Our stocks would have went up
Now,
with that.
for those that don't know, earlier you introduced your friend Smooth.
Yeah.
First of all, can I? I just want to because I already know some of him, like some of his details, but I feel like our listeners don't know right now. Those that
I'm
do
gonna be
listen.
honest, I don't know.
Exactly. So I do want to break it down. Can you start off like
Where
your
it started
story,
at.
the story of your life, a synopsis, just real quick.
Like for instance, my brother right here is Chris, 24 years old. I had to give him a crash course on the Supreme Team just right before you guys came here.
Yeah, you
So
don't know
for
the
those,
Supreme Team.
that's
you
what I'm
see,
saying.
We let the listeners know what I'm wearing right now, so they understand what it is.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Let them know what he's wearing.
You see what this say?
Wait, the
Sergio
book is-
Tincini. You see this, Sergio Tincini? For you young boys out there wearing all this new stuff. I'm rocking the Sergio Tincini suit. Nobody don't even have these.
That shit does look fly though.
that shit does look fly. You walk down like, yo,
Very
damn.
fly, yeah. As 80s, that's straight 80s. You know, we 80s, we straight 80s. But yeah, my life is one. This is, a quick synopsis. I grew up in a family of 6, 5 sisters and myself. Mother was on welfare. Father left in the 3rd grade. And, I gravitated toward the streets at around the age of 13. And I met my main man, my brother, sitting next to me, Sean Dew. His name is Smooth in the book. And he was approached by another friend of ours, an older friend, and was like, yo, we want y'all to sell. This is the 80. You talking about 84, like 84. Y'all got to understand for the
I was
listeners.
not even born. I was born 87.
It
So
was
think
a whole
about that. And
different.
y'all call me old.
When we talk about this whole drug game, it was so much different. Like when we was out there in the 80s, the cops was getting paid off. We'll get to that. Cops was getting paid off. They wasn't worrying about locking people, especially street dealers. They was going for the kilos and the coke. The big drugs. They wasn't dealing with little crimes. You know what I'm saying, hand in hand. And so at the age of 13, like we was in them streets. He approached us like, yo, we want you to sell these Lucy's. Eric Garner got killed for Lucy's,
Yo.
loose cigarettes. The real Lucy's was
For real.
joints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Marijuana rolled up. So he give us 100, say, yo, y'all take 20 off the top. And everybody was smoking. So it was nothing. We was getting money hand over fist. We was selling those, and we graduated to what? Mescaline tabs. We started selling
But imagine
mescaline
at
tabs.
13.
Yeah, we started selling loose cocaine, and then crack. This wonder drug hit New York City called crack. So instead of selling 100 loose joints to get $100, we sell 10 vials of crack to get $100. I mean, this was a wonder drug. It was just crazy. Everybody, like the baddest chicks in the block that you was trying to take out, they start hitting that crack. About 8 months later, they was running up on you like, yo, please.
I need that.
I need that.
That's where it came
It
from. I was
was-
like,
Yo, it was crazy. It was crazy. Remember that movie with Chris Rock said, yo, give me
Oh, yeah.
10 cents.
New Jack City. Yeah,
New
yeah.
Jack City, exactly. So, yeah, the crack was crazy, and you read in my book, Once a Cop, it's crazy that, like, me and Dew, we actually was conscious drug dealers. Like, we wouldn't sell, if you read the book, if you read the book, listen, we wouldn't sell to women that was pregnant. I definitely wouldn't sell to none of my friends' mama or sisters or brothers. Like,
So you had
and
morals.
we wouldn't sell to our family. That wasn't happening. It was not happening.
Right.
Where we had other people, we had a strong team out there. It started off, we was just 5
Nah,
young
man, you
kids.
say he's a strong team, but they don't.
We had a strong
So you
team.
got
It
the-
was 5 young kids out on the street. It was me, my man Sean Dew, my man June, my man Will, and my man Renzo. And we was just out there, man. We was just making so much money doing this. And then I graduated to going to the Supreme Team where, I was over here on Murdoch and 198 selling drugs in Queens. It was play. I went to the Supreme Team. It was a Fortune 500 company. They had me working. I used to work
Shit.
for Bimmy, my man. He was like Supreme right hand man, and so Bimmy had his own lieutenant, my man BJ, who actually works with Murder Inc. Now he's big in the music industry. He was his lieutenant. I was one of the street
Right.
workers, and I was like, yo, you got to work midnights. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's like you get
You gotta work
now you're at McDonald's. You apply to McDonald's. You gotta work that
you
midnight.
gotta-
You're like,
you
what
gotta
the
work
fuck?
that midnight.
And you like, you got more. He's like, yo,
boss.
I
Yeah.
get out there. Like your boss at McDonald's tell you, yo, man, my man, you got an opinion. Like, yo, fam, I'm not doing it. You
So
quit.
We was working shifts
You can't
over
quit
there
these
at
type of
Supreme
jobs.
Team. I mean, and, bodies was dropping. It was the 80s. People was dying. God bless
Right.
my man Shabu, my man Pee Wee, Raheem. Yeah, I mean, Starborn, my man Starborn got murdered. My man Daquan. My son name is
Yeah.
Starborn
That's why I
Daquan.
found it confusing at first.
Facts.
Right.
So, we lost a lot of people in the streets in the 80s. But it started just getting real crazy, and I decided, my man Du, he slid off to college. The crazy thing with me and Du, my other crew, all of them got locked up. At one time
Everybody
or
was
the
dropping.
other.
Yeah.
They was getting locked up, whatever. They was getting caught. They was smoking here and there. We never did drugs. We didn't do no drugs. We was about our money. We was fly.
Right.
You see the pictures in the book that act like you don't see. We was heavy. You see that back cover? That back cover. I really love the back cover of that
That's your
book.
favorite picture, right?
That's one of my favorite pictures because I'm in the hallway of Andrew Jackson High School.
I told you it's Andrew Jackson.
That's Andrew Jackson.
but he went to
I got a
Newtown,
few.
too.
Yes, I
Andrew
did.
Jackson.
I went
We
to
went to
Newtown.
Newtown.
But in Newtown,
Oh.
if you read the book, I stayed below the radar because I didn't want them to know. I just wanted to be regular in Newtown.
Right.
Like nobody didn't know what I was doing. And Andrew Jackson, I was coming with 300 vials of crack,
Right.
passing out to different.
But I feel it's crazy
people.
because like when you think about the '80s, like you hear stories. Like you have Kevin Childs now on Fun Flex. You have Gito on there. You have a lot of dudes from different neighborhoods. Yo, the '80s was fucking wild. Because if he's talking about Newtown and you see, we grew up in Corona, Jason from the Spanish side.
right.
Our uncles were doing it too, so it's crazy how it was chaotic.
I mean, but that's when
It's fucking chaotic.
But that's when it first hit, and it was like they didn't know
Now-
how to handle it.
Yeah, but think about it. It's just a generation because before that, it was the dope dealers like Monday, like yo, had their own shit.
70s.
In the '70s. So it's like yo,
P-Dope.
down the, law enforcement things changed by now. The times have changed because back then it was the Wild Wild West.
So you
Like,
just
so-
magically got up one day. I know somewhat a reason why you just decided to stop it, but I be asking people too. Like we know people in the game, and it's like in order for them to stop, they need to generate the same amount of income or find
On the
a
other
legit-
sid.
But it's like they don't. So it's like yo, I'm staying here.
But because they don't try, it's like they try. It doesn't work. Fuck this. I'm out. Going back.
Right.
So what did it take for you to just like? You just,
Well, for me, again, like my main man left and he went to college. He went to Hampton University. Shout out to Hampton Pirates. We be going down there next week to the reunion. We going every year to the reunion. But he went to college, so like that was, and remember I had 4 other dudes. They was my crew, but like this was my main man, and he left, and things was getting crazy. I had a dude pull a pistol out on me. I end up, trying to murder this mother scooter out there on the block, and luckily, the gun didn't go off. I can't tell you about it. You gotta read the book.
thank you.
gotta
I
read the
appreciate
book.
you not ruining it for me. I
Yo,
appreciate you not ruining
don't
it for me.
ruin that part in the movie. His life is a movie.
Exactly. So, and then December 14th, December 12th, my son always be cursing me out. I be messing his birthday. But my daughter's birthday, June 14th, and his December 12th, 1986. My son Corey Jr. was born in Brooklyn, and I was like, yo, that's game time. But my father left when I was in the 3rd grade, so it was like, yo, I want to be here. I want to see him
Right.
crawl, walk, call me Dada, and all of that. And so I decided right there my exit plan. But I always tell people, I speak all over the country, and I always say, like, I would never tell somebody to stop selling drugs or get out of a gang if you don't have an exit plan for them.
I was actually gonna tell you, like, I was actually
Never.
gonna ask you, like, do you understand drug dealers or like, because fast forward, you become a cop.
Yeah.
So it's like, how does a cop tell somebody not to do something that they were doing? You get me? So I was
Oh,
like,
but
it's easy to
But you
tell
pay
them.
the longevity. He's still alive.
Oh yeah,
course,
it's
of
easy to
course.
tell them.
Kids is
But my
raised.
thing
I'm
is,
saying,
if
like-
I don't have a plan for them, I can't rap to them, because I was once a wolf, and you watch the Animal Channel. A wolf gotta eat. He gonna
Whoa.
eat. So you couldn't tell me to just get out the streets if you wasn't gonna show me. It wasn't about me, like you just said, making the same money, just survival. It's like I left the streets October 18th, 1987. I went to the U.S. military. I was making $600 a month. yo, dude.
A couple hours.
We was making that in a few hours, man.
A couple hours.
But I was the happiest person in the army because no longer did I have to worry about the police looking for me. My girl sent me up. My man's out there to stick up kids. I was just happy to just go ahead and live a normal life. Without, I mean, when you're in these streets, for you fellas that's out in the streets, like these streets is real. They eat you up.
Right.
And I know a
No,
lot
we
of
know
little,
a lot of
little
people
homies
that
that's out there in the streets,
Yeah.
and I tell them, yo, they eat you alive. It's totally different now. Like we ain't had this. Everybody got something for. Every time you sell a piece of drug, you better know that it's on camera. If it ain't on the cell phone camera, somebody in their house, they got a house camera somewhere. The corner store got cameras. There's cameras everywhere. We was in the middle of the street, just walking up the cars selling drugs. It was nobody was around.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. You know, the average span of a drug dealer is you get 3 to 5 years in the streets without getting popped. It's a long time. We got 5 years out that streets without getting. I mean, I got locked up one time. You know, y'all gotta read the book, figure that out.
Shots.
I feel like every time he lowers every time it's like a commercial break. Like, damn.
It's like trying to watch a movie in primetime network.
Yo, bro, come on, don't do that.
Right when Denzel about to come, you're like, damn, fucking
sitting here
commercials,
not
Colgate
saying
commercials
shit.
and shit.
All the things that went along with selling drugs. All the things that went along with selling drugs we was involved with.
Now you lured him into it.
Yeah.
Well, not lured him, but you influenced him into
I
it.
was an influential factor. But
Well, what's your background like? Like, what made you go that route?
But he always dropped his jewel, you know what I mean? Like what y'all doing, you know what I mean? If I didn't know y'all and I was younger than y'all and I was in here watching y'all do this every day, I would want to do this.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? You see cats, if they selling fried ice cream, I would want to sell fried ice cream. So, you know, dudes, if we was around dudes, Wall Street brokers, I want to be a Wall Street broker. We was around dudes that was older than us, that was fly, that was neat, they was fresh every day, they was getting money. I wanted to get money. I wanted to get money just like
the
them.
cars.
You know what I mean? I wanted the flash. I wanted the popularity came with it. You know what I mean? And we lived right down the block from the park. And that's the park where we played ball every day. You know, girls playing handball, we hooping, and we was getting money. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
It was taboo to sell in the park, though.
It's like a rock star mentality. It's like the dope dealers, the rock stars.
Yeah. Facts.
It's like the biggest rock stars and shit. Everybody's influenced by the rock stars, which is the dope dealers.
Absolutely.
Music, Big Daddy Kane, everybody, the jewels, the chains, the outfits. Even it's still risks up against the shit now.
Y'all got a picture of the homie right there. One of the smoothest cats in the game right now, Jay-Z. These young cats see Jay-Z.
Like,
they want to be
That's-
Jay-Z.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They see Jay-Z, they want to be Jay-Z.
Yeah.
We seen them dudes, not that we wanted to be them, but we wanted to be in position. We seen dudes driving cars. When we was able to get cars, we rented cars or we leased cars, we had cars. Dudes were taking cabs, taking Lincolns. You know, back then, Shaq's was one of the best cab stands out. They had the Lincolns.
Yeah.
You know, and was for somebody 14, 15 years old to get in a Lincoln and go to City Island and have them wait for you. You eat, you on a date, and come home. Wasn't too many cats,
no,
wasn't
hold
too
on.
many cats doing
Y'all
that.
read the book.
My thing is,
Yeah.
y'all, at 13, like I couldn't come out my house till I was 17.
He still can't come out his house.
Like I'm on probation right now. Like how's a 13-year-old
At 13.
in the streets?
And
like you get jumped by a 25-year-old. Like yo, give me your shit. No, like I'm just thinking back in the 80s. Wise, like
At 13 in the
cameras,
80s,
nothing.
think about it, at 13 in the
13 in the
80s,
80s.
in them streets. At
Exactly.
13 in the
Like,
80s.
prostitutes,
All that.
crackheads everywhere.
All that.
Fucking
You
robbers.
gotta understand. So, like, my mother, I don't know my mother to ever have a job. You know, she was on welfare. So, there wasn't a whole lot of parental guidance. Like, she gave me morals and values. I went to church every Sunday, you know, as a little kid. But it's funny because I tell people all the time, I've been on CNN, all that. I tell everybody, I've been taking care of myself since 13 years old. Facts. Like, I might see you and be like, yo, give me $20. But paying rent, buying my clothes and all, I've been doing this since 13 years old. And my little son right now, my granddaughter is 10, my son is 9. I can't even imagine them in 3 years taking care of themselves. Right? That's crazy.
I want to say, all you gotta do is disconnect their Wi-Fi. They're done. Disconnect their Wi-Fi. They're done.
That's what I'm saying. Like how does one at 13? Like,
You disconnect their Wi-Fi right now. They're
So
like, the world is over.
You gotta understand, like, so my out was going to the park to play ball. Like, we was nice with ball. We was real nice. And anytime y'all want to put these mics down, I'm
up for the
I still can shoot. I can shoot foul shots now. Dude, he still got that Coney Island between the leg behind the back. I'm done with that. But so we was in the park all day. So for my mom, I was in the park all day, but she didn't know I was selling drugs. But then after a while, I come home, hit her off, because we ain't had no,
Yeah.
We reading a book. I was eating mayonnaise sandwiches, open the refrigerator, roaches running around. So
she didn't know
sometimes
you up in City Island.
eating
lobster.
I was taking. We was taking cabs. We was taking cabs to City Island.
Meanwhile, he's bringing home the left. Like, nah, I was some guy gave it to me up the block.
So
Meanwhile, he was in City Island.
I would give my mom money once in a while, so she knew what it was. She wasn't condoning it, but I'm like, yo, here, whatever you need, here, boom, we was good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So. It is what it is. The one thing I regret about this whole game, and I talk about it all the time, is my mother died thinking her son was a crackhead. I mean, a drug dealer. That's the one thing I regret.
Now, how old was that? How old were you?
I was like 17, 18 when she died. I was like 17, 18.
But you were borderline.
I was like 17 with two kids. I was 17 with two kids, 6 months apart.
High school diploma? No.
Facts. Yeah, I went to school every day. Me and him was the only drug dealers who went to school every day. I went to school every single day.
They sound like they were the nicest drug dealers.
We was.
Like, hey, kid.
Yeah.
Like, they make it seem like, you know what? I'm just become a drug, but I still go to school though.
Yeah, we went to school.
I might sell you like 5 packs, but I'm still at school.
I went to school every single day.
Imagine.
And dude went to private school his whole life. He went to Catholic school. He graduated from Bishop Lochner High School. He was in there selling cocaine to all the white boys.
To the teachers and shit. Like, miss, pass me on this test. I got you.
I got you.
We knew
no staff.
We knew that education was the key to success. Like, I mean, drugs was. I wasn't trying to be supreme. I definitely wasn't trying to. I was just trying to be fly. Get some jewelry, Fila suits, some Adidas suits, stay fly. That's what it was. We wasn't like trying to be the kingpin. Like, we was our own bosses, and then we had people working for us. You know what I'm saying? We had motherfuckers working for us.
Is it easy to pull out of the drug game once you're in it that deep?
Or it was easy
if you were in that deep.
So it was easy. So dude had the plan. He went to college, so his was easy. Like, and we was proud. I never forget. He hate when I say that. I remember he was going to college, so we was all happy. Like, yo, you going to college? You serious?
And we made it.
You going out of state?
So you think it's like cars and everything, but that ain't impressive, son.
But because it started getting. It was crazy out there. Bodies was dropped. You gotta understand. Last year in New York City, I think it was like less than 400 homicides. You talking about 87? When you went to school, 86, 87, you went to Hampton? 85. 86. It was like 1,900 homicides.
Damn.
So bodies was dropping.
So this is Chirac.
But we didn't even really know. Like, you can understand, like, we was around all of this danger and we didn't even know.
It was
so
home.
like when I went to
It was
Supreme
home.
Team, I would come to Baisley Park and somebody just be missing. And be like, yo, what happened to Raheem? I don't know. I'm like, damn. What happened to Iron Horse? What happened to Big Pete? Like, dudes was just disappearing. But we didn't even know it was like dangerous. It was like, yo, I'm like, yo,
he'll be back.
we gonna get
little
this
do you
money.
know.
And what's crazy is that I had a white coworker one time drop me off home, and he's like dropping me off through my neighborhood. I live in Linden and Suffin over there.
Okay.
So it wasn't that bad. I mean, from what I thought, it wasn't that bad. But he was like,
Oh,
yo,
the 80s.
how the fuck do you walk this? Like, yo, they looking at you. I'm like, all right, cool, like, relax. But you don't realize how dangerous it could be because you live there. It's home for you.
It's normal. It's a normal for you. That's why.
It was very normal for us. I'm working for the Supreme Team. No, you be out of, like, totally out of your mind and come and try to rob me. That was a death wish.
Yeah.
So
you had the backing.
Are they still hiring?
we had to back it. They still hiring.
Maybe the clothing brand Supreme. Soho.
I could use that type of.
Alex will be the only gangster in Soho at the Supreme
I
store.
could use that type of threat walking around like I dare niggas to look at me and touch me.
Maybe you got gangster in Soho.
So then
walk around.
all right. So then, December 14th, Ain't
12.
Ain't that your birthday?
My birthday December 4th.
Oh, my bad. Jay-Z's birthday.
Huh?
Yeah, right?
Same year.
No.
I was born in December. No, 86.
His born was
86.
86.
86.
86. You were born?
87.
Oh, all right. Dang, you old as shit.
That's
Um,
I was
So
born-
you was born, and then your son was born. So you decide to
Wait,
join
you
the
was
army.
born and then the son was born?
Fam, look, there's so much. Thank you. Like I don't edit this shit, nigga. Like I don't edit this show. Your son was born, then you decide to go to the army.
Right.
When you come back, a new chapter in your life.
Yeah.
You decide to be a cop.
No, so when I came home,
I gotta read the book. Man.
it's
You're
crazy.
like, wait,
So
no.
it's crazy because like all my friends was dead and in jail. So
Then
for
by
a
the
few.
time you left and you came back,
They
like
was
6
dead
months
in
or a
jail.
year later.
Or they left the
Disappeared.
streets.
Yo, how
They
ironic,
left the streets.
How ironic. He goes to put his life on the line, but when he comes back, all his boys are gone.
Yeah, but you gotta understand. So October '87, I left. 2 weeks later, the feds take down the Supreme team. Everybody. Everybody. I mean, throwing bricks out the window of Baisley projects, trying to flush crack at
And the cops back
feds.
back in the day, they will cut the water supply.
Oh, it was bad.
For you can't flush it down the
Yeah.
toilet.
For real?
And then, so you're talking
That's how
about
they
2
call
weeks
my
after I
uncle.
left the streets, the feds take them down, and then January '88 is when they murdered Ed Burns. Ed Burns get murdered,
You know
and
where
that
you
changed.
lived?
That changed the
it was by
entire
your
game.
house. You know where you live?
Yeah,
2 blocks
right on
up
the south
on the
side.
other side.
Yeah,
Remember
that
where
changed the whole
you
drug game.
had told
Interrupted
me.
my story, so
No,
I'm like
but
so
at least
into this shit.
for he can have an idea because he lives right there on
Yeah.
right up Linden. It's right there. It happened like a couple of blocks.
couple
from
of
you.
blocks away. Yeah.
So they murder him.
So then that changed the entire game, the drug game. That's when you got all the RICO and all of these laws. You know, you murder a cop, like young.
Niggas gonna be
Young
knocking
kid.
the doors, asking questions like, "Yo."
Yeah, I mean it was probably like the worst decision anybody could ever
But the
make.
thing is, at the time, you got to think about it, Alex too. Like these niggas were young, and they were above the because they had money. So it's like you were above the law. In your mind, you're like, I'm untouchable, baby. Like
yeah, it was crazy.
it's crazy, like that feeling, like
Get that feeling.
like power. It's like in the book. If you read the book, like when he talk about. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I'm a civilian. I ain't trying to get shot out here. I don't know if he still got connections, but in the book he talk about Prince, and just think about like the power he had, the influence. He'll look at you like, "Yo, dude, take him out." You had no choice.
Facts.
Like that type of power, like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's judgment. That's yo. I
You
don't
like-
even think. I don't even
you
think
like-
presidents.
You like that book opening I see. You
Yeah,
like that opening.
That
to the
shit's
book.
crazy because it's like, yo, it's like it's.
That's
it's
what make
crazy.
you read it. That's what make you get to the last
Yo,
page.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy because think about it. Like you running around with a dude. It's like all of a sudden think about it. Like Chris is running around and Chris says, "Yo, Alex, you got to kill that dude." But meanwhile, you know, he's down there. He already had like 100
I'll
bodies.
kill Chris first and then.
That's what you thought. That's what you thought. But somebody like Prince back in the day, you couldn't even touch.
Jonathan only read the first page. I'm gonna be honest with you. He only read the first.
The
page.
intro, the
Lying all
prefaces,
time.
the
What happens
prefaces.
chapter 4?
Wait, I mean, the prefaces.
What was the most racist thing that happened to him?
Oh, you read the touch.
I've been doing
You
my
read the-
research. I don't know it yet, but I did my
Googles,
Googles. Yo,
get your
I do my
Googles.
Googles. I know damn
Yeah,
near.
but it's a different time.
All right, so as a cop, yo, it's just I don't know. This makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so when I came out the army,
It's like crazy.
after I came out of the army, I came out March '91, and then January '92, I went into the police academy.
Now, as a drug dealer, don't you like say fuck the police?
Yeah. But when you have babies, it's like, yo, I got to feed my babies. So it wasn't about. I don't give a
when
fuck
when
about-
did when did NWA come out with the fuck the police? It was like 88, 89. So you was
like 88.
so you guys
89.
were in the streets, but like, well, how was it
I was out of the streets then.
by then?
I was in the army when they was doing. I was in the army from '87 to '92.
Right.
So
'Cause that
I had
would've been-
changed once. So I have so many chapters to my life. So like, I grew up. Then I was a drug dealer. Then I was in the army. Then I was a police officer. Now I'm a 2-time award-winning author, motivational speaker, whatever. I used to be a professor. So like, I just closed chapters. So the drug thing, it was easy for me to close it. I had changed already. I said, yo, I don't want to do this no more. I'm going to see my babies live. And that was it. So it was no regrets. And a lot of people always ask me in interviews, like, how did your friends feel? Like, my friends was proud of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my man June, one of my main mans in the world, I remember being in the military, and he would send me letters. He would write letters. He was locked up in Baltimore. Remember, he was down in Baltimore. And he would write me like, yo, life, yo, boo, I'm proud of you, man. You made it out. Yo, we counting on you. We counting on you to do good. And that's how my team was. It was really no jealousy and envy with us, man. We would just get money, having fun, messing with women. It was just crazy. And we had fun.
So what do you think the Supreme team run from start to ending? How long you think that run was?
A few years.
Yeah. I'm just saying that
a few strong years. It wasn't long. Like I told you, told you the average. You're a drug dealer, you get a 3 to 5 year run. Mm-hmm. Especially now. I mean, police know everybody.
Probably 2 year.
Right. I'm being very liberal.
82. You gotta think when Catton was out there in the projects.
Yeah.
So their run was from maybe before he got with them. They was running. They was already running. You got to think of how Preem, he was from the streets. Preem was in the streets. You know, Preem was like a notorious stick-up kid. He was a notorious popular dude in the streets. So you had in 40 Projects, you had Fat Cat, and I mean, you had the Corleys. So there was crews already on that side of town, on the south side, that was already getting money.
Furtado Brothers.
You know, the Furtados, Tommy Montana. So cats was getting money. So you already heard it in your ear about Preem, South Side. Then you had it on the North Side, which is farmers, Ronnie Bump, who descended from Pa Freeman. So the game been going on. The game always been going on before all of us.
It's just new players.
You know what I mean? Right. Just different players came along, and they became a conglomerate. Them young boys, 40 Projects, Baisley Projects, they just became a conglomerate. So 81, 82, 83, 84, then crack came. Now it just boom. Now it's major free enterprise, but they still want to keep a hold on it.
Right.
So that's when now you got to get your gangster up. So Prince was that dude.
You couldn't control it because
Preem was that dude. Cat was that dude. Pappy was that
Yeah.
dude. So now, just everybody getting money. It's major money now.
Yeah.
And them dudes was the dudes that had a stranglehold on that side of town. And it,
I mean,
like you said, you couldn't really approach them dudes, do none of them dudes, because it was like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
It was like a hierarchy. You know, like Bimmy was a lieutenant. They had lieutenants, they had captains, they had soldiers. So they couldn't be penetrated.
Somebody was managing something. Somebody was watching.
Absolutely.
They had a security team that used
so
to drive
it's like
around.
micromanaging. That's what you.
Yeah, they used
call
to
it,
have
so
a
they were on
security premium. They had a security team that rode around in a bulletproof van
Think about the dude
with 4 shooters, shotguns, AR-15.
He's
You know,
still
I'm
like
not
trying
gonna
to figure
lie
it
to you.
out.
I'm
Like
not gonna lie to
how?
you. I'm not gonna lie.
Crazy.
When I think of Preem and them, I'm thinking about Get Rich or Die Trying. That's the first time I heard of them. That was the first time I heard of them.
'cause
Sorry, I'm not in these streets, all right? So the first time I heard of them was Get Rich or Die Trying.
Right.
And seeing what was portrayed in that movie, I said, holy shit, like this is what this guy came out of? Like 50 of them?
Yeah.
By the way, do y'all have any affiliations?
Yeah. Yeah, we used to get my man Mike Nice. Shout out Mike Nice. Used to cut me and Boo hair. You know, he is what he is. He's real. He's serious, real.
He's from that gut. He's from that gut.
He's from that 134 guy.
You notice he calls him Boo?
Boo Boo.
I knew that one.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I knew that.
Now,
Yeah, I knew
Boop was
that.
the bully.
Mm-hmm.
50's the businessman.
So do you think, like, the fact that is Prima around
He's locked up.
the group?
He
Supreme
said that they took the whole team.
So now
down.
what I'm thinking is like, is the respect still there?
Oh, yeah.
Like from the streets? Like,
Oh yeah, Preem's name is in infamy. Like, forget about it.
You still hear it in records.
Yeah, you still live long.
You got Ghetto Quran, you know, Queens Reign Supreme. They write all these stories about these guys, man. It is what it is. His name still rings bells to certain people, I guess.
You being a cop,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever arrested like somebody you ain't want to, like
Yeah,
from around the way, like
Yeah.
oh man,
Facts.
and they never like, how did that go?
It was his business. This is business. This is what I do now. This is about my babies. So, you gotta go. You commit the crime, you do the time. This is about my babies. It wasn't nothing else. It's like,
Meanwhile, a couple of years
but they
ago,
didn't see
he
you
was
like
out there.
They didn't see you as like a traitor, like a.
Nah, because it
Left
was
this
all.
dude.
I can tell you, there's an NBA basketball player, real nice, from out here in South Queens. His brother was a gangster, man. I locked him up like 2 or 3 times up in Harlem, and he used to be like, "Yo, life." I said, "Yo, man, you can't
Like, yo,
keep
can you
doing
stop?
this, man."
I got things to do. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
and because I was a lieutenant up in Harlem.
Yeah.
And they come in with him and be like, "Yo, life." I'm saying, "Yo, man, you here again?
Yeah.
You can't be saying my name every time you come
Like, you
in
don't know
here,
me.
man.
I don't know you.
You got
In
internal
this side,
affairs.
I don't know you.
You
I
got
don't-
internal
I don't know
affairs
you.
all over me.
But
the connected
also,
Like,
you gotta think
let him
about-
use the phone as long as he wanted to. That's
But
all I could do.
But also, what about Smooth? He was a correction officer, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you run into some dudes that
Oh,
you
yeah.
were out on the streets with, like, and they like, yo, dude, try to get a phone in here. Dude, try to.
Yeah, word. Like, yo, you can't give me
Yeah,
some
but
more.
you can't do that. Because once you do that, and your integrity is challenged, then it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Because now you can't feed your family because you're gonna be on that side with them. So not too
Right.
many people. Anybody with some status wouldn't ask you that.
Right.
Anybody that was somebody wouldn't ask you to do that because they knew
Right.
what you were trying to do. Now they knew you were trying to feed your family. They knew that part of your life is over. Now unless they set it up for you to be in there, to go in there and work, and they got some kind of design for you. But other than that,
Right.
nobody was really asking you that.
Wow.
Like,
I
I
was
got-
Yeah, because
I got-
you probably see everybody that's getting swept up.
I was just talking. Me, Life, and Bimmy was together not too long ago. We was at a barbecue on our way to a barbecue, and I had to remind Bimmy of a story when Bimmy was in the back, and it was kind of compelling because when he was in there, I didn't know. When I came to work that morning, all the whispers was going on. Yo, Bimmy down in 8 block. Bimmy down in 8 block. Yo, you got to go down there. So when I go down there, when I get down there to go see him, we start laughing and joking, but the higher ups that I worked for had already went down there to see him. So it was already known that he was already coming once he left Central Booking. Now he was in there in one part of the building. Then there was another guy that was from Harlem that was with Rich Porter and Alpo and them that was in there. They made an arrangement for them two to meet outside by themselves and walk around in the yard by themselves. I was outside as the security officer outside at Rec.
Watching the whole thing happen.
Just outside while they was just them two. Normally it's like 500 people outside. This particular morning, the warden only wanted him, Bimmy, and the other brother outside to talk to calm things down because there was an uprising, knowing that this brother from Harlem was in there and Bimmy was in there, so they was just trying to make things.
It's too separate, like.
They was trying to make it hot.
Yeah.
They was trying to make it hot, and those two calmed it down.
Well, what I feel like,
Man, time
because
out.
back in the 80s, you got to think about, they were with the Supreme Team in the 80s in Queens. You got to think about Harlem, what was going on in Harlem, the Bronx. But I feel like in those neighborhoods, it was probably one dude per block radius. In Southside, you had one controlling a whole team. It was a whole team.
Yeah.
In Uptown, it was one dude controlling a block. You had another dude on another block. So it was more hustlers. And then it's like too many chiefs, not even, like too many, how is it? Too
Indian.
many Indians, not enough chiefs.
Yeah.
That's what it was up there. Like, it was just running wild. So I could imagine when dudes was from Harlem, everything was just crazy because now, somebody got to control this shit.
Yeah, we definitely had it was a definite hierarchy. You couldn't do nothing unless it went
Somebody,
up,
you know.
up to the chain.
Yeah. Like, meanwhile, these
So-
dudes up on the block, they the boss. They make the choice. You had a chain of command.
You gotta understand, Supreme, smart man, smart guy. You could have been a Fortune 500 executive if you wanted to. Like Supreme didn't want ain't no fighting on the block, ain't no gunplay on the block, cause you gonna make the block hot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fighting. Y'all want to fight? We go over to Nacy house in the basement. We had a boxing matches. See, we used to do that. People don't know
That's
about
part
it.
of the books, too.
It's in the book, baby. Thousands
you know
of
what?
dollars.
No,
Thousands of dollars was spent on those boxing matches. I had to go with my man Show a couple of rounds with my man Show one night. I remember that. But so like everything was like, he would give out turkeys on the Thanksgiving, Christmas toys, pay people light bill, phone bills. It was like,
Right.
it's a messiah over there.
Oh, he was an icon.
But everything was low because he kept everything low.
Right. But I feel like it was
that.
hard to keep low because the thing is, when somebody's high on crack, they can't control that. Like,
Well,
you can't
crackhead
control,
be
like-
high, but crackhead ain't crazy.
Well.
Crackhead could be high, but he get
I like that.
he get crackhead get crazy. Stay high. Don't get crazy.
I never heard that.
Nah,
before.
these was killers. These was killers.
They knew there was a line they couldn't cross.
Yeah, it was.
So they was violating and breaking in cribs and stealing VCRs and all that to get that blast. But they knew who they couldn't violate. They knew not to violate.
Yo, so now you're a cop, and then you become. I'm gonna fast forward because I haven't read the book.
Yeah.
But you become the first. Let me see if I can word this right. The first black executive.
First black commanding officer, the 67th precinct
I almost had
in
it.
East Flatbush, Brooklyn.
All your skills.
It's executive like it's
Since
CEO.
1865.
How do you get that? Like,
Well,
I
listen,
can't see somebody from the streets with that street swag and that street slang. Next thing you know, it's like this professional chief and fucking.
Oh yeah, I know how to turn it on and turn it off, man. I'm a hustler, man. I know how to hustle, man. Everything I've been doing my whole life is a hustle, man. I've been hustling my whole life, so you gotta know when to turn it on and turn it off. You gotta understand, man. I got a few degrees. I was a professor for 6 years. I know how to walk, chew gum. We could talk about the New York Post, or we could talk about we could use big words like pseudofolliculitis barbae, which is like a 17-letter word for shaving bumps. Yeah, we can do that. And pseudo spelled with a P. Remember, pseudo spelled with a P. You know, so
Absolutely.
we can do all of that. So,
Even
I
that
know the
Siri,
truth
even
and all.
that Siri.
So what happened is Police Commissioner Ray Kelly took a liking to me because he saw something in me. And obviously he had to speak to chiefs that was below him, captains, inspectors, to see like, yo, what's up with this guy, Corey Pegues? You gotta understand. The front of that book, that picture of me is when I made captain. I was only 13. I was one of 13 black executives in the NYPD. It was 40,000 people in the police department. I was able to tell 39,987 people what to do when I had that picture right there. That's crazy. So I was one of 13. So when it's time to start doing chess pieces and move people around, he only had 13 blacks that he had to move around. And so Sean Bell got shot 44 times or whatever, however many shots it was. And Ray Kelly was like, yo, we got to put some black people in position. And we got to do it tonight. Like, what's up with this dude, Pegues? He's been out there for like a year. Is he ready for his own command? And then my bosses was like, he ready. I remember a white chief came to me, Chief Marino, grabbed me and was like, yo, police commissioner's office calling me and asked me if you ready to run your own show. He said, I told him you ready. Don't let me down. I said, I got you, boss. Don't
Yo,
even
I
worry
feel like
about
this
that.
is some like.
Yeah.
I feel like in the movie Bad Boys, I feel like Martin. They tell him, yo, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Like it's a movie show.
That's
you
what
ready
it
for
was,
this?
I swear.
They call me.
Yeah, it was crazy. And, I mean, I just always, I was, as a cop, it was so easy for me to be a police officer because bridging the gap between the community police was so easy for me. But I was a few years removed from being in the streets. It wasn't even just selling drugs. I was commanding officer PSA 2, Public Service Area 2. I had all the projects in East New York, Crown Heights, and Brownsville. In Brownsville, I think it's the most violent place in the city of New York. I had all the projects
even
there.
now too.
Of course
Even
it
now,
is. I had all the projects, so I know it. It was easy for me to maneuver around them. And, I would walk through. You got to understand, this is like 7, 8, 9 years ago. I looked a little, I had no gray hair. I always kept my face shaved, no mustache, no beard. Yeah, I was looking young. And I came to work with a suit and tie every day. And people used to be like, damn, you running this show? You serious? Yeah, I'm running this. Yeah. We here now.
Yeah.
We got these jobs too.
And we could get this job.
Exactly. It was easy for me to maneuver around those communities. And I was very successful. I had a great run, man. I did 21 years as a cop. It was good. Rose to, executive level. It was good. I had a ball.
Now, seeing everything that's happening now, but you're no longer a part, or can retired cops have a word in the unit? I'm just saying in the sense of like all this police brutality and everything that's going on all over the world. Like, what's your take on it?
Oh, my take is we just seeing stuff that been happening for years. You gotta understand, social media changed the game. So if that man could talk, you know what I mean? The innocent black and Hispanic males are dead on cops saying, you gotta understand the narrative. Cops used to control the narrative.
Right.
They'll come out, do a press conference and say, he reached for a gun, he did this, he did that. And we giving the cops the benefit of the doubt. Say, oh, the cops said they did
You
it.
guys got to be honest. They
Right.
Trust them.
Okay. But now,
Yeah.
they can't change the narrative no more. 'Cause I mean, remember, I was a cop, so I remember I was in those meetings where they say, listen, this is the story we're going with. You got it? You got it? We got it? We getting ready to go to the cameras. Everybody got the story? Boom. Now they go do the story. They can't do that today with video camera. Because you're saying, nah, I'm not going to say that. I saw that video. You on your own. I'm not saying that. 'Cause my career's on the line.
Yeah.
So the narrative have changed, which I think is good. I think it's good. I think policing is slowly but surely starting to change. I just wish some of these punk ass cops that see things going on and they don't speak up. I wish they would speak out a little more. But I get it. I guess, you know, they scared. They always want to be liked. I never wanted to be liked as a cop. I always was an outsider. They used to always be like, yo, Pegues, yo, don't do nothing in front of Pegues. Don't say nothing because he telling everything. I used to tell him, look, y'all ain't going to do no investigations. Who said it? I'm telling. You hit somebody in front of me, I'm telling. Internal affairs. You beat somebody up, I'm telling. So I always stood my ground as a very early age as a cop. So,
But you stood for keeping it right.
yeah.
Yeah,
I always keep it. You know my hashtag, keep it right, not real.
He's like, he looked at me. You saw he did the wink like keeping it right.
I always kept it right. And you know that whole hashtag is about, you know, when you was younger, even y'all, your parents always told you the right thing, and then hip hop came along. It was like, yo, son, I keep it real. Snitches get stitches, and I'd be like, nah, I keep it right. You do something in front of me, I'm telling. So we gonna be clear. I remember going to roll call. Y'all know what roll call is when the boss stand in front of talking. I would go there and be like, listen, if somebody do something tonight, I'm telling. So let's be clear. No investigations.
He's like, God
it
damn
came
it.
from me.
Brutality.
But I did that because if I put that out there, then maybe those cops would go out there and do the right thing.
Right.
Right.
Because they scared. It's like, yo, he telling everything. And that's why I did it. It wasn't to be a snitch. It
Don't
was
they
more
have
to,
like a mafia within the cops too?
As we slip
Yeah,
talking
into
about
the
that blue wall.
Oh, yeah, I've been watching movies and it's like
No,
Blue
it's like it
Wall.
goes back to like the Serpico days too, because Serpico was trying to do the right thing.
no,
Dude,
but
they
the
set
blue
him
wall,
up to get shot.
Mm-hmm.
He got shot in the face.
Me and him just did a press conference with Kaepernick a
That's
few
gotta
weeks
be-
ago. We did a big press
What was that
conference.
like with Kevin?
It was cool. We did a press conference, 100 Black and Hispanic law enforcement officers who support Kaepernick. And Serpico was a guest star. We brought him out, and he spoke out. So it was a nice thing. Yeah,
Serpico's a legend.
yeah, he was
a legend.
He was one of the first. I don't know if he was the first, but one of the biggest whistleblowers in the
Yeah, in the game.
Yeah, he came out
You can
way
watch the movie.
before
Al
everybody.
Pacino plays him. Al
Yeah.
Pacino plays everybody.
You gonna play him next?
Al Pacino, imagine.
You gonna play
Look at Al
like-
Pacino.
gonna play
Man,
like that.
he's gonna play the Corey Pegues story.
No, but my whole thing is like, I commend you on your story, even though it's fake. Because I mean, it's not fake. I know it's real. What I'm saying is, what are the chances of a life story like this? Like, this is meant to be like a movie, a documentary.
Oh yeah, let's shout out that documentary, A Cop and Roberts Story. Please make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, A Cops and Roberts Story. Please, we've been shooting since last spring.
That's
we
a
shooting.
dope ass name.
Yeah, it's called A Cops and Roberts Story. As a matter of fact, the Sundance Film Festival, if y'all know anything about movies, Sundance Film Festival is
What
the
is that,
biggest
Park City,
film
Utah?
festival. Yes, it's the biggest film festival in the world, and they just picked up my movie, my documentary. They just gave us a few $100,000. Well, you know, I don't know how much money, but they picked.
It's all speculation.
It's all speculation.
All speculation.
But shout out to my director Linka. Shout out to her sister Mara, the executive producer of the film. We've been shooting all over Queens, shooting all over Brooklyn. We start back shooting in September, and of course, you know, Sean Dew is the co-star, and it's gonna be crazy. We getting a tremendous amount of buzz. We was just at the IFP Independent Film Project 3 weeks ago in Brooklyn. My own film was rated the #1 documentary. It's gonna be crazy, and we getting a lot of Hollywood interest right now for like a movie, like
Okay.
or like a TV series
Yo,
like Power or Empire.
Look, I don't need to play a big role. And I don't do this to guests. Jonathan always does this to guests. Like, yo, put me on your mixtape. And I'll be like, nigga, this nigga mixtape gonna get heard by 3 people. But this nigga's talking about a movie. This is when I'm gonna speak up and be like, yo, look, I could be the nigga at the bodega. Just
Alex could be the crack.
anything. Just get me on that movie.
Look at Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, get me on that movie.
Chris Rock, you never know. You never know.
I know who's playing you if you make a movie, son. Lorenz Tate. You don't think he look like Lorenz Tate?
He does look
like a younger Lorenz Tate.
Everybody say that.
Everybody say that. Everybody say Lorenz.
We got it. Look at him right there. I was about to be like, ain't this
Lorenz Tate? But Lorenz Tate is not young.
Especially right there.
He just ages well.
But
especially that picture right
that
there.
picture right there, I don't see nobody else.
That is
playing
like,
you, son.
That's crazy.
His life is not a dead president.
Once you retire, do you feel like people were like, yes, get that black motherfucker the fuck out of here?
Oh, of course, yeah. They was ready to push me out. I mean, listen, I was bucking the system. I always did the right thing, spoke out. You gotta understand, I was what I call a cop unusual. Mm-hmm. I'm from hip hop. I'm straight hip hop. Mm-hmm. I'm walking in the precinct with a crazy diddy bop. I got tattoos on my neck. I had cornrows down on my back. It's just, I talk with a little slang here and there. I could flip it up however they want. They never even seen anything like me. It was just crazy. You remember when I made Sergeant and I went and got assigned to the book to the 81st Precinct, and I was driving a BMW X5 then. I said, yo, dude, come with me. I got to change my locker to take it to the precinct. He came with me. We pull up to the precinct, blasting some hip-hop, crazy hip-hop, whatever the song, hottest joint was. We go in the precinct. I think I got Yankee fitted on to the back, one roll leg up, on sweatpants warmed up, and we go to the desk. And it's 2 white guys, a lieutenant and a sergeant. And I go, yo, I'm the new sergeant, man. I need a locker. And the sergeant looked at me like I was freaking crazy.
Of course.
Hey, and I showed him my ID. I showed him my ID. He was looking like, yo, you bugging. You ain't working here. And the lieutenant looking, I'll never forget, Tommy Hall is his name. And he looked at the sergeant and was like, you heard what he said. Get up and go show him the locker. And dude started busting out laughing. Dude was like, yo, we made it. Yeah, we here, baby.
That shit must feel good.
Yeah, it just gotta be a crazy feeling.
Yeah, where the sergeant's locker room. But I got that. I mean, you gotta understand, and this is why I always tell young black and Hispanics, like, everybody say F the police, they don't want to be down with the police. I said, yo, if we don't have a voice, we never in the room. You gotta understand, I was one of the few black people I was in high-powered meetings. I remember being in a meeting in Ray Kelly's office with like 4 or 5 white chiefs and me. But they gotta watch their mouth because I'm in the room.
Right.
But if we not putting ourselves in positions to be in the room, they're gonna make policy and do whatever they want to do without your input.
But I feel, me not being black, being Hispanic, but outside I'm black.
It's the same.
It's the same shit. No, I mean, all my life is like, yo, I can't tell a cop, hey, I'm Spanish, too late now, like whatever the case is. But it's just, it demotivates us, that's the word, right? Like, it doesn't spark that. Like you said that we got to be in the room, but it's more like, earlier you said, you know, now social media, we got it on camera and shit. But it seems like even that's not even helping.
Exactly.
Like that shit's, it's more like we're giving up, like.
Nah, but we can't give up. You know, and I was a major advocate for video until I saw Eric Garner get murdered on camera and not anything happened. But it took me a minute to realize that that's one piece of the pie. At least it's one piece. We need that. We at least need that video.
Right.
Because if we at least have that video, we might be able to get a lawyer who's sharp enough to at least get the jury to believe that this in fact happened and somebody should go to jail.
Yeah.
But if we don't have the video, remember, we don't have the video, it's your word against a cop word, and the community is always going to give the cops the benefit. Just think about this. It's the only profession in the United States where the citizens give the cops the right to take a life if imminent deadly physical force is being used against you or somebody else. Imminently, that means right now I got a pistol to his head and I've got to kill him. And you're a cop, you can shoot me in my brain. You understand what I'm saying? No, doctors, lawyers, they kill people. Doctors kill people every single day. But nobody don't hate doctors when they kill somebody. But if a cop kill one person, every cop in America, that next job they go to, they be like, yo, punk ass cop, y'all killed that person up in New York. They be like, y'all work in Boise, Idaho. What the hell are you talking about? So it's a heavy, heavy responsibility and duty when you take on that profession. If you're not ready for it, don't even do it. Because McDonald's is always hiring at least on the hamburgers all the time. They always hiring.
But also, going back to that, I'm just giving you my take on things out here. I'm not going against you. But as well as you say, oh, if one cop all the way over there fuck up and another cop all the way over here fuck up, it's not. It still doesn't justify it. It's more like, look, 2 cops got away. Eric Gardner got murdered on camera. Philander, same shit. And it was like, then these guys are walking away free. So it's, to us, what we see it as, the people that are being victimized and everything, we're seeing it as like, yo, nowhere is like, are we gonna get justification, or like, are we gonna win a case? Or
you know what? See,
case?
this is the problem with policing that y'all don't understand, and they need to. In this podcast, we're gonna let them know because they all gonna hear this podcast. Cops got this little thing called, if they was in fear of their life, they could use a deadly physical force.
I had an
But
argument
what
with a cop.
you call us like fear?
Argument
Like,
with
yeah,
a
what's
Exactly.
fear?
So you
What
can't.
is fear?
You can't quantify the fear.
Yeah.
What's fear for you? What's fear for me? What's fear for you?
There was a documentary on
And
Netflix
that's
recently
what they
about
need to
something
change.
sent to
You
Islip.
understand?
That the dude, you seen that? That was deep. You got to watch that
So
documentary.
no matter what, if he's fearing for his life,
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's gonna keep his job. He'll probably get fired, but he won't go to
he'll
jail.
probably get suspended with
Right.
It's happening. Like,
And I'm not. Listen, I'm just glad that I got out of there with all my fingers and toes
But
after
think
21
about it. What
years.
about, remember, there's documents and other, I've watched mad documentaries.
Yeah.
What's that one with Michael Dahl you mentioned in the book? It maybe there was cameras around when
Michael
he
Dahl.
was doing it.
Well, imagine if it was that. I actually had lunch with him not long ago, about 6 months ago. It's crazy.
Like, imagine he
That's a
was
crazy dude.
Wait, were you on the field with Ronnie King? While Ronnie King was happening?
I was in the police academy with Rodney King.
What was going through your mind then?
Oh man, it was crazy. We was in the police academy. We was scared to death. Like, oh man, what the hell is going on? Yeah, that was another bad one where the people got let off. But
and
sometimes
that's why
it's jury.
OJ got
So then-
let off because of that.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. That when we see this happening, right? Nothing, at least to me, nothing makes. But I know what they're doing, why they're doing it. But nothing makes my blood boil more than while these things are happening, and there's a black cop, like, just standing down saying "fuck it," you know.
Oh, punk ass black police.
That thing
I'm
like gets
telling
me
you.
like, yo, you really just letting that go, like.
Because at the end of the day, it's above the bad. It's about human moral. It's like it's another human.
Yeah, but it wasn't
like-
like that for me. And like I said, I was with the 100 Blacks in law enforcement with Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, Noel Leader, and a few other people. Like, we was fighting. Latinos Officers Association. We won a $90 million lawsuit against the police department. They gave me a check for like $35,000 for racial discrimination. That's in like 96, 97. We been fighting. So I was with a core group of people, Tony Miranda, Rob Gonzalez, my man. We was fighting the system. Way back then, we was fighting the system. And so there's some brothers and sisters that fight the system, but most of these black and Hispanic cops, I'm telling you, they go along to get along. I was there. I'm telling you, they just want to come home. They want to go home.
They want to collect the checks.
Because when you like me, when you taking that stand, so now I'm used to being in the room and nobody talking to me. They be like, oh, here this guy go. But I wasn't there to talk to nobody. I don't care about talking to nobody. I was there to just take care of my family. That's all I was. And remember, I was a hustler, so I knew the difference between a cop and a captain was 50-something thousand now. So I was focused. I was locked in. I'm going to the top. I'm going to make that $150,000, $200,000 a year. That's all. I was focused. I'm not trying to be your friend. I won't go to your parties, your bar mitzvahs, your weddings. I ain't trying to do. I'm not trying to do none of that.
See, so then after finally retiring a cop, you did it. You survived the streets, went to the army, survived that, went and went on to become a cop. What comes next?
So after that, I did. Can I say combat job?
Yeah, you can say
Oh
it,
yeah,
man. We
yeah,
hope that
yeah.
nigga
So,
listen.
so when I
can say combat.
retired,
That
yeah,
nigga
yo,
listen.
shout out to Reggie Osei, my man, entertainment. Y'all know he an entertainment attorney too. So him and my lawyer was entertainment attorneys together. So
Oh, I know where we heading with this story. Go ahead,
after
go
I
ahead.
retired, I tried to do. I said, listen, I want to write my book. What y'all don't know for the listeners, I kept a journal every year. As a police officer, I kept a journal, the yearbook. You know how you go to the Staples, you get the books with the years on them? And I kept a story. Every time something happened, I kept a story. I said, yo, I got to write a book. So I got injured. I had a back surgery. And I was in the hospital, and I asked the doctor, "What's up, man? Can I go back to being a cop?" He was like, "Yeah, you need to find another profession." My second thing was like, "Yo, can I still play golf?" He was like, "Yeah, you can play golf, but you ain't gonna be a cop no more." I was like, "All right, cool." So I told my wife, bring my laptop. I sat in the hospital and I started writing my story. I swear to you, I ended up with like 275 pages. I wrote my story. And then it was like, yo, let me shop this deal now. So my man Ed Woods, you know, he did deals with Jay-Z, Puffy, everybody. And, so I said, yo, man, we gotta get this deal, man. Let's write this book. And he was like, yo, your story is crazy. Let's do it. And we started shopping the deal. Nobody ever gonna get the deal. And he introduced me to Reggie, Combat Jack, one night. His wife got a restaurant. Shout out to the Krabby Shack in Brooklyn. It was at the Krabby Shack, and I met Reg, and he was like, yo, you need to come on my podcast. I'm like, yo, who the hell is Combat Jack? What
That's when he was first coming up.
Yeah. He was like, yo, my show is crazy. You crazy? I got the #1 podcast in America in hip-hop. I was like, all right, just bring me on. And I went on there, and I told my story. And I talked about how Eric Garner was murdered, how I knew David McClary, who killed Eddie Burns, and like those two things, it was just crazy.
Right. You going against the team.
I was going against the team. They fed that story to the New York Post, and I woke up like 2 weeks later. I was on the front page of the New York Post. Thug cop. Thug cop.
You're like, wait a minute. You start thinking
crazy.
about, yo, when did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
How do you walk around that? Like,
it was cool for me because I knew I was going to go on Combat. I started researching. I knew you had a heavy following. I said, if I jump out the window, as long as I have a parachute on, I'm good. I knew I was going to get some backlash, but I didn't know I was going to be on the front page of the newspaper. Right. That I did not anticipate. And what people don't know about that is that came out on a Monday at like 6 in the morning, 2 o'clock. Ed is calling me. My lawyer said, yo, we signed with a book agent right now. We ain't talking to nobody else. And a week after that, I sat in a conference room with the biggest publishers in the world, Simon & Schuster, Random House, Doubleday, the top 10 publishers in the world was bidding on my story. And all this chaos I was in the newspaper for 5 days, and people was like, yo, people thought I lost my pension, I'm losing my house, my cars. People was, because they didn't know, but all the while I'm out here working. People was offering me major deals for this book deal, but people didn't know that.
If they only knew.
If they only knew. So we just wrote it out like, yo, let them think you dirty, whatever. Say, I knew never in the history of the NYPD have they taken anybody's pension. What people don't know is they send checks to prisons every month for people that's retired and they like murdered their wife or whatever. They still get a pension. Yeah. They get a pension. Damn, you retired. You retired. Yeah. Like, you can't, I kill somebody after retire, you take my pension. Nah, it don't work like that. So I already knew my pension was locked in. I was just trying to get some buzz, but I went about it the wrong way. I didn't know that it was going to go. Well, the other thing people don't know, I'm at Combat Jack. We had about 3 or 4 bottles of champagne. We was just talking. Out, yeah, Combat was just going in. And my lawyer came in on the end like, what the hell are you doing?
A little bit too late.
We don't have champagne yet, but soon come. When next time you come up here.
Yeah, man. Them black bottles, man. Y'all got them black bottles on deck.
Come on, I told you too. I knew that.
I forgot it's in the car. Hold on, I'll be right back. Well, let's go. I'll be right back.
But no, so we got that book deal, and you know, the PBA, the Police Benevolent Association, they was talking a lot of stuff. They was like, yo, whoever signed him to a deal, we're boycotting. We're gonna be in front of the office. And yo, it's funny because my book agent was like, yo, I dared him to come. Like, the publishing, in the book world, they're like, nobody's gonna tell us we not putting out no book. I wish the police would come out.
Different, because it's a different electrical. Like,
they was like
different.
You know,
different.
much attention.
They knew the buzz. They just wanted more buzz. Get more buzz. Let them come out. We can get more buzz.
Animal. Yeah, it's a whole different animal.
Bro.
And then, so it was a 2-year process of the book, rewriting the book. We had to rewrite it, you know, editors and everything, bringing lawyers on the team and everything. And a week after the book came out, you know, I was getting cut. Well, you know, the big thing was me being on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. I didn't even know how big his show was. I know Jon Stewart was on the show, and he's a big deal, but Trevor Noah brought me on this show, and then I just started getting a whole bunch of Hollywood interest. That's how I ended up signing this deal with Vernon Films for the documentary.
How much have we generated?
What?
off this book.
The book? Oh, the book was
I
nice.
told him
We had nice.
We told
Nah,
we
we
told him
nice.
we
The
gonna
book.
ask him.
Yeah, they
Like,
gave
he
me a
living.
nice.
You see the
we gave-
jewels? You see the jewels?
Nah, this pre-book, baby. This rollies. I got a couple of rollies. This pre-book. Nah, we did good. They gave us a nice advance, and we out there. We pushing the book. You know. Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Paperback is out. So most people they drop a hardcover. They not doing a paperback unless the book is selling. So the paperback came out. So you know, usually a hardcover come out, and then a year later the paperback come out. So the paperback is out. Numbers is good. I'm still working.
We living.
Just came from DC from doing
at
Congressional Black Caucus and some book signings. We working.
Touchdown at Awkd Silence. Did you get your book signed?
Not yet.
Of
That's
course.
all
You gonna
that's
get
on
it
the
signed.
day. It's gonna
You
get
gonna get it
signed.
signed.
It's gonna get signed.
Can I get my iPhone book app signed?
He's like trying to screen.
2017, you know what I'm saying?
That's like bad
I'm
shit.
glad you got that Audible book though, because it's crazy. Because I mean, if you willing to listen to my voice for 11 hours, get the audio book.
No, but it's not bad.
But it's good because
it's
with-
because
in
I'm listening.
my voice, I know how to inflect when I say, "Yo, we ran into the drug spot, pulled a gun." You know, like I can inflect. I know how to do it to make it
But
sound
it's
like
listening-
it's
it's
right
like
there.
but it's like listening to a long extended podcast because that's what it is.
Of course.
Okay.
That's what it is.
You just listen to it in a few, like a week, you'll finish it. Hour, a day, or 2 hours, whatever.
I mean,
That's an idea. He should be having his own podcast too.
he should.
Yeah,
But well,
That's
I'm,
the
I'm
next.
thinking
That's
about
next.
that. Nah, I'm
That's
seriously
next.
thinking about that.
You could do
I
that.
keep telling
want
Combat, yo, man,
10%
stop
beef.
playing, man.
we all edit. We all set
edit.
up. we all be the
need
people in
to-
the background.
Yeah, we need to do a pod. I need to do a podcast based on like current issues. Like I'm thinking about my second book now. I'm thinking about looking at like the last 10 incidents
right.
involved, like from Mike Brown. Tamir Rice, all of that, and write about those incidents, and then give my perspective on what should have happened, what I believe should have happened. So that's, I'm thinking on that right now. But a podcast would be crazy,
What would have
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
What should have happened was.
right?
I don't know, man. I don't know how these white people could just watch these videos and be okay with it. Like, I just
But
don't
it's
get
a
it.
different-
It's a different.
It's white
Like
privilege
the other
in
day, I
general,
was talking
just-
to my girl about that. Like my girl, she's white, so we drive through
Sell out.
Corona.
Sell out.
Huh? Yo, you can't be. So we drive through Corona.
He likes to play around like that.
So we drive through Corona. She's like, why they standing on the corner? And I broke it down. Even in the book, you mentioned people don't have front yards. People have fucking buildings. They're in buildings. It's like imagine living in a one-bedroom apartment with like 4 brothers. You have no. Listen, that much. You're gonna be outside.
Right.
You're gonna be chilling. And then it got deeper, and I expect like she didn't understand about. Oh, all criminals should be locked up. But I was like, okay, you don't understand their situation. What if he has a kid? His mom has cancer. Something happening. He needs to feed the family. He's gonna start being on the streets, being
They won't.
outside.
She wouldn't
She
understand.
she after I put it that way, she understood it. But the way they seen it before is like, oh, they're criminals. They should be locked up. Throw them in
Right.
jail.
That's
Fuck
the
that.
problem.
Throw them under the jail until you explain it that way. They're like, oh, okay.
Because
But
they just be thinking people
but-
just wake up to be a
yeah,
criminal.
so
Yeah,
white
but
people-
meanwhile,
might see it from
meanwhile
the
on Wall
outside.
Street, the white people are raping us
What?
on
Yeah.
Wall Street.
What?
White collar crime,
dude, you
killing
see
us.
your check every day.
Just
you
like
get
the shit
raped.
that just happened in Las Vegas. Like I don't really be getting into these things because lately this world
It's too sensitive.
God,
Like, we
no,
can't
no, I'm
say
talking about
anything.
all the events that's happening.
okay.
Like from Times Square, that guy that ran over all those people.
Yeah, that's why I don't go
Shooting in
nowhere.
Vegas.
If it's a crowd,
All these
I'm
people-
done. I'm done with concerts, plays, all that.
Yeah.
I ain't going.
I'm
Yeah.
scared for my life now. Saying, you know, I
I
be at
won't
these
be in
raves.
no.
Like,
Yeah, I don't want to be in no crowds, man.
He's like, you know, I be at these raves.
nigga, I be
You
at
be
these
at
But
the
think
rave?
about it.
I be at these festivals like, nah, son, I'm doing this shit from home.
But
now.
think about it. Like,
But what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, you
saying
be
is,
seeing that.
all this shit happening. But like, seriously, like the one that bothers me now is the Vegas one, mainly because I was at that hotel. Shout out to the Mandalay.
Yeah.
But it bothers me that they're not calling it a terrorist attack. Like, what the fuck does it take for a white person to do to call it a terrorist?
It's
You
like-
know,
it's
fact. Well, so a terrorist attack got to be like, it's based on wanting to commit a terrorist act to a certain group of people. You understand?
Country people.
So, yeah, but listen, they not making it fit. We all know. If you watch my social media, my Twitter, everything, I've been tweeting
Right.
from the day it happened. This is a terrorist. I don't want to hear nothing about no law. Because if
Yeah.
that was a Muslim, East
Yeah.
Indian, guarantee you Trump would have been all over the news saying it's a terrorist attack. So I don't want to
If
hear
he would have
anything.
been Hispanic, he would have been
We
Mexican.
gotta call it.
It would have been a wrap.
You gotta call a spade a spade. That's what it is. But you know, we got a lot of blacks and Hispanics voted for Trump. So y'all got what y'all want. Y'all got them. I ain't trying to hear that. Just white people put him in office.
That's
y'all,
true. Yeah.
Y'all put him in. Y'all
We
tipped
had
him
one
over.
job.
Y'all tipped
We
the
had
square.
one job. We all had a march.
Yeah.
All those
And
booths.
yo, it is what it is. So
But
we got to
it's-
deal with this for
it-
4 years. And this is the mentality now.
Yeah.
Make America great again is a slogan for Make America white again.
White again. Hell yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And if you
But
didn't
you
see
know-
through that from day one, shame on
But
you.
you know what though? Like you see it. Like for instance, me and Andrew, we work together, and we the only dudes. Me and Andrew always be outside. Andrew could tell we outside. We always talk be amongst us. I'm like, Andrew, we gotta work harder than them
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, they're gonna like. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna put my code because they be listening to this shit. But you know, we gotta work harder than our counterparts, than our American counterparts. We gotta just by default because they'll see us. They be like, oh, they're typical. If I fuck up, typical Spanish person,
I mean,
typical
but
this, typical that. They waiting for that.
my
So you
job
can't
now-
not give them that. That's the problem. You
My
cannot
job
give them
now is me, the one Spanish guy, sitting in an office with about 7 other white guys that control about 80 Spanish people. I do construction, you know, South American. And I'm not gonna down talk my job, but there's one guy in particular, and the way he talks about like, I don't care if he gets paid or not. It's like, yo, dude, like you have no idea what we go through, do you?
Right.
that. Like,
But it's like they don't care,
don't
and
understand.
they don't need to work hard. Like they're privileged. So
It's privilege. White
Yeah.
privilege is a mother. And that's
Yeah.
why I always took care of every black and Hispanic that works for me. Yo, I took care of them, tried to make them feel comfortable, a part of the team. You know what I'm saying? And even the people that didn't look like me, you know, the white guys, I treated everybody fairly. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. But everybody not like that. White privilege is crazy. It is what it is, and this is America. I mean, you know, policing started on slavery with slave patrols, you know, to pick up black runaway slaves. And then,
Right.
you know, they great-grandfathers passing that down,
Yeah.
and we wonder why policing in the black and Hispanic community is the way it is today. These are old stories. I'm first-generation police. You know, my daughter's a cop now. My nephew's a cop. But I'm first generation. You know, I wrote in the
Right.
book, man. They be calling me the N-word at work. Like, yeah, nigga, get over it, nigga, this, nigga, that. I said, man, who the hell you think you talking to?
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy back then. But I always was focused, like, yo, I'm gonna be your boss. I knew it. And I had this white sergeant tell me, you don't want to be a boss. We want you to come be an undercover and buy drugs. I was like, hey, crazy.
really.
Buying
Like,
no
wow.
damn- all the
I
drugs I
might-
sold the white,
You
all the
might-
drugs I sold the white boys
you-
on
you-
Murdoch
you
Avenue
might
and
get
198th
shot.
Street.
I wonder
You
why.
telling me I gotta be the only black?
You
You,
know- you know
want
what?
me to go in Queensbridge to buy drugs? I don't worked in Queensbridge for 3 years, and now you want me to
Shit, now
go
you-
in here and think they ain't gonna know who I am?
Life
You
is
got
at
your
you.
damn mind.
Come on, like
Yeah, you trying to kill
Yo,
me?
dude, come on. You are out here. They might think,
Right.
oh, you back out here.
Exactly.
They might think you
Like,
back
that
out
shit
here.
ain't gonna
Oh,
go
he,
for you.
I knew. He's like, I know the police department. I know you're gonna be back.
that shit didn't go well for you.
Nah, that wasn't gonna happen. But listen, man, we all just gotta make choices. I was
But-
always focused on.
But quick
Doing
back, like
right.
take it back to the 80s when you were
Let's
out
do it.
there.
We fast
Where,
forward to the 17s, going back now.
Yeah, let's
where
do
was
it.
the Spanish people involved? Like, where were they in the neighborhood? Like,
Yeah.
where were
The
they?
wetbacks.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, everything. Like, where was
Yeah.
it? Like, all the where the Dominicans, where the
Mhm.
Mexicans, what
Mhm.
they were doing at the time.
So I'm gonna tell you. So in the '80s, and I write about it in the book. So in my neighborhood, I grew up in St. Albans, Queens. There was no Spanish there. It was mostly 98% black community. We had a couple of Spanish, not a lot. But I used to go uptown to buy drugs to the Dominicans up on Convent, 135th Street, Amsterdam, 135th.
A.K.
They-
Gramsterdam.
They had it on a lot. Right now, you know, there's $1 million homes over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yo, I used to go there like 16 million due to buy major drugs from those. They had it on. Like, they didn't even speak English. They act like they ain't speak. I know they knew English. I knew they knew English.
It's like
I
speaking
knew
about that. You know what's
it.
funny though? Because the first time I brought Alex here,
But
all
they knew
chilling.
how to count
They
money.
were like, yeah, they were like, yo, I know Alex is a poppy. And they're like, what? He's Spanish? I'm like, yeah. And there'd be a lot of Dominicans that were blending in.
Yeah. Yo, it was funny. We used to go up there, man, about all of these drugs. Like, we was like 16, and they would search you in the middle of the block when you get to the block. Like, we would go to 135th in Amsterdam
Yo,
to buy
think about
drugs.
it, though. Imagine
And
a cop sees somebody like, what the fuck's going on, man?
No, the cops
Imagine you in the
wasn't
middle of the
looking.
block, a nigga
That's the
searching
dirty.
another nigga.
Nah, that's the dirty 30 precinct.
That's
They was
crazy.
getting paid off. It was a major scandal there. They was all getting paid off. Like, I worked with the Supreme team. We was giving the cops $15,000 a week. So everybody was getting paid.
Right.
But they was searching. Yeah.
Oh, the 7.5.
7.5. They was
That's
they was
New York.
searches in the middle of the street.
But that's
so you
crazy,
couldn't.
like-
We couldn't even take our guns. We would have to leave our guns in a taxi cab, and go like we would buy like 300 vials of crack, $10 a vial. So we go in there with like $3,000-$4,000, whatever it was, and like babies. We was like 16, 15 going to buy drugs from
From
Dominicans.
cartels and shit. Like.
Cartels. But they was cool, like except for the one time in the book. But
Yeah.
you'll
He
read
said,
that.
but it's cool until
It's cool to say.
he got
frustrated now, right?
It's,
You seen the book, like,
yeah, it's
I'm
good.
needing forward, I'm needing forward. I'm buying shit too.
Yeah, you got to get that book, but
I know how the documentary's gonna work out. If this shit's not on Netflix, don't watch it.
Yeah.
You don't have this shit on Fox, and it's gonna be like,
Yeah.
and that's when the Dominicans, when we return.
Nah, yo, I'll be mad, honestly. And when it gets to that point in the movie,
Yeah.
if it's like the show Narcos, you guys watch Narcos?
No,
There's a scene where the Colombians, they go to, all the Dominicans are moving to their neighborhood.
Colombians, yeah, that's who we used to
Yo,
buy drugs from, the Colombians.
The actors that played Dominicans, I'm like, dude, that dude is a Mexican comedian. Get that motherfucker out of here.
Lopez as
Like
that
in
nigga.
your movie, I don't want to see fucking George
Yeah.
Lopez. That's the fucking
They
Nah.
head.
cast everybody in that.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, man, this documentary, I promise you, it's gonna be crazy. And for me, the reason, and y'all didn't ask me that question, what made me write the book? I wrote the book.
That was coming.
That was coming. 'cause That's what I'm
Coming.
saying. Yo, you want to revert back to the 80s? We're like, yeah, nothing.
Nah, it's cool because I always I wrote this book because I just wanted the Pegues generation, like my kids and stuff, Starborn, my sons and them, my great grands and all that. When I'm dead and gone, they gonna know my story and they gonna know not to make the same mistakes I did. I didn't know it was gonna bubble to what it is today. I just wanted to write a book. Like, yo, I want to write a book. I ain't no writer. I just grabbed my laptop and I was, you see in high school.
Yeah.
I went to typing and I passed. Yeah, I type about 50 words.
Newtown was known for that back in the day.
I
Newtown
type
was
about
business in
50 words a
Yeah,
minute.
that's
so
how I learned
it
how
was
to type
easy
at
for me
Newtown,
to type.
that.
Right.
Newtown, I heard like, yo, that was I had a
Exactly.
customer. She's asking me, she's typing. She's like, yo, you took typing class? I was like, that's the only thing I got out of Newtown.
Yeah.
If I could say something.
ASDF JKL semicolon.
yeah, like
I never
the home
forget
screen right
that.
in the
Yeah.
movie, it's like the middle. The home screen's in the middle. The first middle
Exactly.
keys.
So
Everything is there. Home,
Yeah.
return back.
That's
what you
it.
got to do.
And so I just wanted to put my story. I didn't even know for sure if I was gonna get a book deal. I just felt that I had this story that because this is thousands of kids selling drugs in gangs and they think they doing it, and I wanted to just let them know, yo, this is my story. I did all of this. I made it here. You might not make it here, but if you want to transition, like these are things that you're gonna have to do to transition in your life, and that's what it was about. That's why I'm happy to be able to go around the country and talk to kids all the time, and every time I talk, it's, yo, I gotta email y'all my introduction.
Oh, shit.
I got an introduction video that I put
Damn,
out before I speak. It's crazy.
I think I see it's on
And you-
YouTube, is it?
Nah, it ain't on
Nah, because
YouTube.
it's the one I
Yo,
saw the one that used in the
nobody
park.
got it.
That was
My man.
Yeah, that's
that
it.
was
He
crazy.
tried to do
No.
research on you. All he landed was YouTube. He said,
No, matter of fact, nobody got this introduction
Alright,
video.
alright.
Yo, it's
You
crazy.
hear that,
And
Combat
I
Jack?
got it. Yeah, Combat ain't got it. Nah, Combat ain't got
nigga
it.
might have champagne.
And you know
but
I
he
got
ain't
that
that
LL, I
You
got
might
the
have your
LL
word.
Cool J beat on it. It's crazy.
It's a rock for you other podcasts out there.
So where are you doing these speakings at? Like schools, precincts?
Yeah, I go to colleges, book me, community-based organization, church, religious organizations, wherever, whoever got a check, we come through. We come through for a nominal fee.
What's that check?
He wants to know.
man.
Alex was like, I want to be a motivational speaker.
Look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna type your name in Google.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it there, press and refresh every day. The minute I see movie being made,
Yeah.
I hit this nigga. I'm like, yo, wait a minute.
Oh, you're gonna know.
I couldn't be the crackhead.
It's coming, man. Listen, man, I'm a firm believer that God put me in this position, man. I'm supposed to be dead or in jail. All the crazy stuff I did, shot people, been shot at, all kind of crazy stuff that's in that book. I wasn't supposed to be a top cop. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a higher calling for me. You know, I just got a message today from this university. I'm probably gonna go teach at this university. I'm getting a little bored of running around, not working every day. So I might go be a professor again. I can't
Meanwhile,
name it.
we're dying to do that. Like, yo, we want to run around and not work every day. Like,
Yeah, every day is Saturday is not good. Trust me, it's too much.
Yeah, it does. No, it does. After a
It's
while,
a
I did
lot.
that one
Let
time.
me get that
I did it for 2 weeks. And I'm like,
It's
damn,
been
I gotta
4
go back.
years, man.
let me get that
It ain't
for 1
enough.
year, and let me
me
get it
decide
for
from
1
that
year.
point.
Yeah.
I'll decide
I
from
don't
that
wanna be
point.
like, yo, every
I
Sunday.
mean, I'm busy. You know, I'm doing speaking. You know, podcasts. I'm doing all of that. But I need to do something where I'm working every day now. So I might teach 2 days a week, 3 hours, 3-hour class.
Just because he's bored.
I'm just bored.
A little
fly
something.
out
And
the
plus, I'm gonna be
weekend.
helping kids. I'm gonna be helping. If you go to ratemyprofessor.com, I was a professor for 6 years at Monroe College in the Bronx, Jerome and Fordham. You know what that is? Hispanic Nation.
Yep.
So
Alex know what that is.
Jerome and Fordham.
Alex
you
be out there
already
trying
know.
to scoop the mommies.
Woo! Let me tell you, I was a
talking about.
professor, so I had to be really cool.
Some of these
And
girls
if you
that
go
were
on ratemyprofessor.com, they gave me 5 jalapenos.
Them shit, man.
Yeah.
Them shit was real.
If you go to ratemyprofessor.com, you gotta see like,
No, I never met a professor. I had
Yeah.
this one. I might have had this one.
you gotta put the little emoji hand, the little
Yeah.
praying hand. So you know it's lit. You know it's lit. When you see that, the little praising hand, you know it's lit.
yeah. I just spoke at BMCC.
Hey,
Oh,
shout
you
out to
in the
BFCC. I
Yeah,
failed.
I just spoke, and they made a little hashtag I think it's CRJ Pegues, something like that. And the kids love me there, man. They was like, one kid posted up on Instagram, was like, yo, this is the best speech I ever heard in my life. And that makes me feel good, because they could relate to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could, because I'll come down. I'm not talking like over the people or whatever. I could tell, you know, I speak based on my audience. You understand what I'm saying? I know when I have to turn it up, or I could just talk like regular. So I'm in a college with kids from like 18 to 21. So, you know, I was like all in my hip hop mode. You know, I had a little suit jacket on, but, you know, I always keep my Yankee fitted. I'm known for that. I wear a suit with a Yankee fitted all the time. You probably saw that on the news or whatever. But they was loving it, because I was dropping jewels like, yo, don't talk to no police. That's it. Name, address, date of birth. That I don't care what they say to you. Shut up. Tired of these young kids coming in the prison and getting locked up. They won't tell everything. Yo, it really was me. Let me tell you. So shut up. No, just shut
Like,
up.
listen, it was a little day up the block.
Right. Nah, shut up. Because even if you kill somebody, you still have a right to an attorney. Just shut your mouth. And it's not about bashing cops. It's like, these are your rights. So I'm going to give you your rights. Shut up. Name, address, date of birth. That's it. I don't care if they don't give you no water, they don't give you no food. Shut your mouth. Because I seen so many young kids going there. You got to understand, police are trained professionals. We're trained to interrogate you, to make you say something crazy. You see all these people getting off from 20 years ago, they didn't commit the crime. How you think they got in jail? Because they said something stupid. They said something stupid and signed a piece of paper. Don't sign. I'm not signing nothing. I ain't signing anything. My son Starborn, he know the routine. Name, address, date of birth. He ain't saying nothing. They gonna be like, you a deaf mute. He ain't saying nothing. Shut your mouth. Get your attorney, because if you can't hire one,
I got
they
arrested
gotta
by like the
perform.
nicest police officer the other day. It was like 2 years ago. These niggas were the nicest people, but it was like, yo, my man, you arresting me. Like, at the end of the day, you're arresting me.
Right.
No,
But
no,
he's
no.
like, they're like,
Nah,
they're
nah,
trying to
you
have
gotta
conversation
tell
with
them
me
the
in car.
story about the dude that fucked your life up.
Who?
You know the cop that fucked your life up that you were still paying for that?
I wish cancer on him.
You wish cancer.
To this
Nah,
day,
because they
like,
affected
I do not take
10
my
years
words
later.
back.
10 years later, it's
10
still
years
affected
later,
him.
it's fucking
It's
me
still
up.
affected
And
him.
it was just fucked up because it's like, yo, officer, like, are you serious? But you know what? You got to buy the book for that one. Yo, we appreciate you having you here, man. We don't want to hold up your time. We got yelled at because our episodes are too long.
Okay.
But this
But
is
they're entertaining.
But they're entertaining. If
Yeah, as
y'all,
fuck.
I swear to God, if y'all listening right now, y'all did not find this fucking interview to be top 3 at least. We got about 20 episodes.
I can't
No,
put,
no,
can I
not
put
top
put
3 versus podcasts out there.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
episode-
I need to.
episodes.
Can I plug my social media?
Of course, I'm
Yeah,
following.
please. I need y'all to follow me on Twitter at Pegues, CPEGUES. Instagram, CPEGUES 9098. Facebook, Corey Pegues, COREYPEGUES. Please follow me, please. Snapchat too. Come on, let's snap me up. Snap, baby. Pegues, snap, baby. Let's
Time
go.
out. For those that are listening and have heard the Starborn episode, this is Starborn's father. Hold up, Star doesn't feel type of way that you got Snapchat or shit?
Nah,
he got
Star see me on Snap. Star more my son. He love me. He think his daddy's crazy. He's like, yo, my dad is the coolest dude in the world.
Yo, and before we go, I just want to ask, can we get invited to one of these speakings?
Yeah, facts.
I would like to. I think we should go, guys.
Yeah, next time I'm doing something big, I got y'all.
I mean, like from what I heard right now, I didn't know who you were when you came in here, but from what I hear, like you a stand-up dude, like you just
Humble as hell.
He took the streets and made it his.
Yeah.
Really, you know.
Mm-hmm.
His story.
That's ill. That's official.
His
You don't
story
really hear
is
about
And
those-
that's why I have so much respect for like Jay-Z and 50 Cent, Boo Boo, whatever, because you don't understand, man. When you in these streets, and you get out, everything is hustle in life. This podcast game is a hustle. Y'all 1 or 2 people away from reposting y'all where they got millions of followers and y'all out of here. You know what I'm saying? So everything is a hustle in life. Because when you out there in them streets worrying about the police, the cops, the girl, and people setting you up, robbing you, you get out of that,
Hell yeah.
man. Everything else is smooth sailing. Everything is smooth sailing.
Well, Corey,
Yo, I appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you for coming, yo. You definitely gained the frigate. You inspired me and everything. Influential. I'm about to go join the Supreme Team. They still hiring me. I can do it.
And he's gonna become a cop. He's gonna go to the military.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for having me. I
Man,
appreciate y'all, man.
Thank y'all for listening. Oh, we didn't even do the introduction today, guys. Do y'all realize that shit? These niggas don't
Because we
even-
got right into
Well,
it.
we got right into it. So anyway, I am Alexis.
Johnny Dope.
Young Green behind the camera.
We can't get him the mic. Whatever, man. Thank y'all for listening.